Hello indie game fans! Squeaking in at the end of the month is a recap video on the best hidden gems you might have missed in June 2020. A number of turn-based and strategy titles, although there are some notable action-based ones as well, beginning with Chaos Galaxy. This is a sci-fi turn-based strategy game that takes inspiration from older Koei games like Romance of the Three Kingdoms, as well as games like Dragon Force, Fire Emblem, Advance Wars, Super Robot Wars, and series like Macross and Gundam, so certainly running the gamut of sci-fi and strategy franchises. Me being me, I love the quality of the pixel art here, especially the chibi robots and ships on the overworld map, with quite the extensive strategizing to do as well. Coming to us from the Philippines is the neon-drenched action title Lithium City. Use a variety of weapons, both melee and ranged, from modern, futuristic and fantastical options as you fight guards, thugs, drones and more. It does give off some of the same vibes as the indie classic Hotline Miami, so pop in and pop off on this one. A pretty neat roguelite dungeon crawler is Card Hog, where you maneuver your character, collecting items and fighting enemies on your way to the high score. Plenty of playable characters with loads more to come as this develops in early access. Danger Scavenger is a cyberpunk-themed action roguelite that has you playing as scavengers fighting across rooftops against greedy corporations. It looks awesome with a nice variety of weapons and characters, but again, another early access title which I'll reserve final judgment on until it is complete. Weapon Hacker does remind me of a robot named Fight in terms of structure, since this Roguevania procedurally generates the entire layout every time you play, but is small enough to be in 1 hour sessions. This game, like Ambrosia covered yesterday, allows you to customize your guns and is a pretty neat, if smaller title. I was very pleasantly surprised by the reception that Little Witch Nobeta got, since this spell-slinging anime action game is made by a developer from Taiwan and also released in early access, but sits at over 3,000 reviews on Steam with a rating of overwhelmingly positive. It has been dubbed as a Souls-like experience, so very different from its source material, but familiar in some of the systems. Mentioned the Waylanders a couple of times, since this party-based RPG featured in some of those game showcases in June and takes inspiration from games like Neverwinter Nights 2 and Dragon Age Origins, so I hope it does get to a good spot in that genre. One of the interesting titles to hit 1.0 last month is the turn-based strategy title Last Regiment, which, similar to Dungeon Top covered previously, is a mixture of deck building and map or grid-based combat. Place and command units to overwhelm and destroy your enemies with an art style that does work for this sort of game. I've mentioned the increasing popularity of barn or range sim style games, with Barn Finders being quite a popular title from last month. Similar to TV shows like Storage Wars, this has you bidding and looting abandoned properties, gathering junk, cleaning them up, and reselling them at your pawn shop. There's plenty of hidden object style gameplay but in first person, so a strange but interesting entry for sure. Beyond Blue is a gorgeous narrative game that has you exploring the ocean and seeks to both educate and relax you at the same time.
Welcome to the Western Pacific. I'm Dr. Mirai Soto, and I'll be your eyes and ears on this expedition. I'm joined today by two colleagues.
Hello, I'm Andre.
And I'm Irina.
First time on a live stream. Be gentle with her.
That's close enough. You can use your dive watch to control the boy from there.
I'm scanning to train our AI to recognize sperm whales, and so we can hopefully recognize our specific friend later.
Hello, Mirai. Thanks for checking in. Feeling settled in the sub?
I'm great. Nice suit, nice sub.
This solo sub test makes me nervous. We're definitely fitting it out for 2 pilots next time.
Didn't you help design it?
Yes, but now you're driving it.
Well, you don't see that every day. At least I don't.
Neither do I.
Looking good, Mirai. The Manta drone is ready for its first zoom scan.
All right, baby. We won't forget you now.
Great. I've been waiting for this. I have just activated your UV light. Now you can see what a swell shark sees.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, this dive just keeps getting stranger.
I have something I know you'll want to see.
I love base building, RTS and tower defense games, and one title that is definitely of interest is Colony Siege. Build your base and defenses as you seek to stop wave after wave of enemies from destroying your outpost. There's a nice variety of enemies, buildings and weapons at your disposal, so for a they are billions-like experience, but sci-fi and a little bit more janky visually, this is a great one and waiting to see more in early access.
Koa, do you remember the story of the Guardians? They were the protectors of the ocean and the door.
Summer in Mara is an action exploration simulation title which I initially thought would be much more farming focused, but this is certainly not Tropical Island Stardew Valley. While you can fish, farm, cook, swim and so on, one knock against this title is that it seems to be largely fetch quest objectives oriented, but it's a nice distraction and a beautiful world to explore.
Will the door ever open?
Man, how good does the anime intro for Warborn look? This turn-based tactics title, of course, will be compared to Advanced Wars for good reasons, since it is similar, joining the camp of games like Tiny Metal and Wargroove. However, this has a more explicit 90s anime vibe, both in terms of the art and the writing, plot and setup, where you control deadly mecha in a bid to advance the cause of your faction. While I would have been tickled pink if this one had pixel art, the course strategizing and rock, paper, scissors type combat will be familiar to fans of the genre and is done pretty well.
Hello inventors, and welcome to Main Assembly, a game that gives you the freedom to create anything you can imagine. With huge open sandboxes to explore, your creations will be pushed to the breaking point. Jam-packed with loads of challenges and parts to unlock, pushing your inventions to the limit.
If you love exercising the creative parts of your brain in video games, then do check out Main Assembly, a sandbox building game that allows you to build vehicles and robots to complete a series of objectives.
Scripted building? Check. User-friendly programming? Check. Unlimited sandbox opportunities.
Very impressed with the offering of parts and the control options available, sharing much in common with The Siege, and is that sort of puzzle-focused building game.
Revolutionary freeform crafting lets you construct anything with ease and precision. Once you have perfected your design, why not take it for a test flight? Happy with how your robot looks? With the visual programming interface, you can set up controls and use sensors to make logic for different types of automation and really put your creations to work. Or jump online with friends to compete and collaborate. Show your creations to the world and test out what others in the community have built in the workshop. Will your creation be the one that everyone is talking about?
While this developer did sponsor a video on the channel, I do have to give a special mention to Shapes.io, a factory building game about using conveyor belts and machines in order to automate the production of shapes. Similar to games like Factorial, this has such a compelling gameplay loop of trying to figure out how to complete the next objective, expanding, tinkering with, and in the worst case scenario, tearing everything down and starting over to optimize the production chain. This one really did trigger that same part of my brain that enjoys building systems like this, taking the #1 spot. To see more of the big picture, check out these awesome videos and I will see you after the jump.